It's just delayed. Sorry.
Perfect.
All right. Go ahead and get started. Hey, first and foremost, Tim, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And we're so grateful for your leadership and what you do, and that you're willing to come at the end of your day and pour into us a little bit and help us with some Q&A at the end of this. And also, wherever you see that you want to jump in, please do. And everyone else, welcome. We're so glad that you're taking the time to do this on a Thursday night. And we think it's a very important topic, because a lot of people are starting to have some momentum. And we want to make sure during that momentum, everyone is kind of understanding how you can maximize that. Couple things before we get started, and this is just kind of where we're at. And a couple things that have been helping us is we want to build up each other. We've been reaching across other teams that doesn't really affect our current team. But that's okay, because we're protecting and building the brand that we love the products, right? It's the things that are doing so good for all of us and the people we're blessing. So by reaching across, we're really protecting our whole company for the long term. Growth is happening because you're taking the time to go and share with people and bless them. And that is making a big difference in a lot of communities. So the whole purpose of this was so we can have a better understanding of maybe the comp plan, rank advancement, and also how you can get goals and bonuses, that you're going after. So we will go into that here in just a second, and I will do some screen sharing where you can actually see. But before I do that, I want to say, if you're new, and most people are not brand new, but if you haven't seen Dee Dee's recorded comp plan that she put on Magic Builders, please go do that. It's about 32, 33 minutes long. And it's very, very detailed. She does a great job explaining it. And I'm going to break it down a little bit different, just because I've had a lot of people say to me, I don't understand it that way. And it is a different way of looking at it. So there's not a right or wrong. It's just we all learn a little bit differently. And so it's my goal to try to make sure as a leader that we reach out and meet everybody where they're at. So with that being said, let me one other thing, so I don't forget this. When we get to it in a few minutes, you can actually go into your back office, go down to tools, then documents, and I will actually have the screenshot of that where you can see it here in a minute. But at that point, you can actually pull up the comp plan. You can pull up the short version or the long version. They both will give you the answer. The long version will give you a more detailed answer. So those are some resources as well. So let me get over here and Tim will maybe inject in a little bit in a minute, but I'm really not going deep in the beginning part of the whole comp plan, because I think almost everyone here knows most of that. And like I said, go to Dee Dee's thing, watch that, get with me, get with any of your upline people if you want one-on-one feedback on some of the questions you have, or if you have them tonight, please ask them and we'll try to answer those. So let me get over here and get to my screen. Is the screen share already up? Okay. All right. Is it coming up on the... Is anything coming up on there, Tim? Do you see it?
I do not.
Okay. Anything now?
No.
Okay. Let me get back in here one more time. I think we're getting there. Hey, and sorry about that. I got high speed here, but it's like super, super, super slow. We actually even left our house to get better internet, and I'm still struggling with it. We're at Janine's dad's place. He has high speed here.
Oh, no
So
worries.
is it coming across now?
No. But I think, Bill, I think we're going to be okay. We can keep it interactive and just talk to it. I just posted my email. Oh, there you go.
So is it up now, Tim?
No, it was there for a moment and then it flickered
I'll tell
on
you,
and it flickered
you
off.
go ahead. You go ahead and talk for a minute, and I will work on trying to get it up real quick. How's that?
All right, I will do that. Hey, everybody. Thank you again for joining us on a Thursday evening. Here in the Rocky Mountains, spring is finally here, and the snow that we had last week is melting, and the flowers are starting to bloom, and my hay fever is in full bloom as well. But first of all, if you haven't, all of you here tonight who have not downloaded the Social Retailer app, I would ask after this call, please go out to your Google Store or to Apple, download the app store and download the Agravite Social Retailer app. And because as we go forward, we're going to be integrating that with more and more technology. It is going to become a vital place for you to grow your business. There you go. Perfect. So, Bill,
the early bird does not always get the worm, evidently.
No, you're good. I love it. So again, that would be my thing for everybody. If you haven't already done so, download the app, because those who are downloading the app and doing the activities, they're the ones who are growing. So.
Hey, and Tim, if you want to, go ahead and talk also about, you just launched something out about a special too on the chocolate.
Yes. So let's do that real quick so I don't forget. So I just sent out to text to all of our customers and to all of our social retailers through tomorrow night. We're doing our tincture BOGO. Also Grava Java is buy one, get one 50% off. And we have a special price base on our PM product. So it's 2 boxes, which are normally $69.95. They are basically $50 a piece. So it's a savings of $40 when you buy them in a set of 2. And also, this is really going to be the last week that we're selling the chocolate bars, and probably until mid-October. Just as I look at the temperatures rise around, we want to be able to deliver the best quality product, even though we send it out with a 72-hour supply of ice. Just the temperatures are going to just start to skyrocket. Plus, once they hit your mailbox, it acts like a little oven. So we will be discontinuing the chocolate. So if you want some more Graviola infused along with Shilajit of our chocolate bars, they're currently 30% off. All right. Bill, do you want me to just go ahead and start talking about the comp plan, or do you want to talk about it first?
I tell you what, either way, Tim, I can talk about this document I created, and then if you want
Bill,
to
I want to hear you, and I think your team needs to hear from you as well. So let's have you, and then I can just answer any questions as we go along.
All right. So this all kind of came about after a tremendous run by a lot of our teammates last month, and poor Tim and Jessica are working their rear ends off trying to help us hit these different ranks, all in kind of the last couple days, and it seems like it's always that way, right? Hopefully we'll get away from that and we'll start building momentum that we hit these ranks way before, and then we can just build off of that the last week. But you know, if we hit it the last day, that's fine. But I did this because a lot of people are really confused. They're like, well, I have enough volume, but I'm not showing I'm hitting a rank. Why? Like if you go in your back office and you start to pull it up, and it'll show you your rank requirements, and it will give you like a green bar where you're at, and it'll say, yes, you hit here, yes, you've done this. And then all of a sudden it will say, no, you have not qualified here. And a lot of people don't really understand why. So what I've done with this is I've tried to break it down by each thing, and it's no different than what the company had. The company basically in the comp plan, you can go back there and it will have a chart. I don't even know which page it's maybe about midway through the comp plan on the long version, and you'll see this chart. And if you have trouble finding it, send me a message tonight. I have a actual chart I can send you really fast as a screenshot so you can see that. But let's just go down through these, and I will send this out. I can send it out to the different groups, and I can also send it to you individually. But let's look at the first rank. The first rank that
Hey, Bill, sorry.
yes,
Can we, I'm just my thought, can we back up a little bit before
Sure.
even the ranks? And
Sure.
let's just talk about customer and what you get paid in the fast start.
Okay, that's a great point, because so often people come in and before we start ranking, I guess I was going right to rank because we have so many people heading there already. But
Yeah.
this is a great point because we're all trying to build teams.
Yep.
So when you bring someone in, you know, you want to let them know that, hey, you're going to get when you bring a brand new customer in, and this is not you specifically, it's your customer. So when you bring a brand new customer in, you're going to get 90 days of fast start pay with that customer. You have that customer for the lifetime of ordering, but your fast start is for their 90 days. So along with that, you will also get 10%. So really you're getting paid 35% to bring in new people for 90 days. Now, some people ask, well, we've heard this star stuff and we've heard that there's different percentages. Well, I even was wrong about that for quite a while until Tim kind of helped me with that. I thought a lot of that star stuff didn't even happen until after the 90 days. So I wasn't even worried about it. I just wasn't even thinking about it. But it actually is based on your customer volume. So if you look at your dashboard, when you sign in, the top left, it has a square and it says customer volume. That customer volume is what dictates your star. So you're going to get your 25% for a new customer. Say you bring someone in a perfect pack, it's 150 PV, you're going to basically get about $52.50 at 35%. But say you have, I think the first increase on the star is at 2,000 in volume, customer volume, that will increase 5%. So that now 35% just became 40 because you're getting that 10 is moving to 15%. And a perfect example, and everyone pretty much knows Brittany and what she's been doing, and how she's been just affecting the massive amount of people in the last couple of months. And she, I don't know if you saw a message, but she went to star 4 on one particular week. And that is incredible, because you're talking about the amount of volume. So the first level is that 10%, and then you can move at 2,000, you can move up to 15. And I believe, and Tim, I don't have it in front of me because I got screen share up right now, but it basically at 5,000, it jumps up again. And at 10,000, it jumps up another 5%. And then it's 20 and 30,000 are the next two, right?
That is correct.
And so what is the cap on that star? From 10 to what percent does that go, Tim?
35% for a 5-star.
So if someone, and keep in mind, that's a lot of customer volume.
That is.
And so,
hey, Bill, real quick,
yes,
just to kind of reinforce what you're saying. So let's that volume to hit, we do it based on your past 28 days, kind of a
Yep.
rolling 28 days. So let's say, for example, this week, you look at and you've, over the last 28 days, you have been at 2,100 in volume. Well, that means you're a 1-star. And so you're going to get paid for any volume you bring in this week. And let's say of that 2,100 in volume you brought in over the last 28 days, 1,000 of it is this week. That is on the 1,000 that you earned for this week, you're going to get paid at the 15%. So, or $150. So you're going to get the 20, if all of that 1,000 in volume are all people within their fast start within their first 90 days, you're going to get the 25% of the 1,000 or $250. Plus you're going to get another 15%, or another $150. So total, you're making 40% on that 1,000 in volume that you have this week.
And that's incredible. So it really entices you to build and to build fast and take advantage of momentum, because there is great incentive. And with being in other companies before, this is pretty phenomenal what the company is throwing out there for us. Do you have to work for it? Absolutely. But the reward is there. And that's all we can ask for. I'd rather something be difficult to hit, but obtainable, that you can at least hit it. So, I love that you have that in the comp plan that way.
Yeah, we love customers, and we want, we're building here for the long term, and we want people that are going to consume, and they're going to take our products on a daily basis. And this incentive is to help you kind of in those, because the first 90 days of a customer's life is really when they get committed to the product. And so what we do is you get a customer comes in, they buy the product and they start to take it. And really, within a week, 10 days, they're feeling the results of that. And it's your job and our job is to keep them on it. Because really after it's that first month, that second month, that third month is really when they're going to see drastic change in their overall, health, their whatever they're working on to better themselves. They will see. I do believe that you're going to see those results, and so we want to lock them in, get them to be consumers, to become fans of the brand and fans of our business.
Yeah, that's so well said, Tim, and I appreciate that. And follow up is not really a term in the comp plan, but it should be, because the ones that are going out there and taking the time to follow up are seeing a difference in their weekly and their monthly pay. And it's so often it's like, gosh, I don't want to bother that person. You know what? Out of the majority of people I ask, it's never bothering them. They're busy. They've forgotten. So especially if you're doing samples, make sure you're following up with them at the very beginning, that they got it. They know how to take it. Follow up with them a couple of days in. Do you have any questions? And I know this is very basic, but it will drive a happy customer, which will drive more volume for you, which will drive more happiness and growth within your team. And it just will explode after that. And a happy customer, somebody put on there a minute ago, a happy customer, it basically you have that customer for a lifetime. And it's a wonderful product. We know that. The biggest thing is we have to just coach people through it. And we can't just throw a Band-Aid statement out there saying this works for everyone. We have to coach each individual through it. So it takes a little more effort, but it will pay off. We promise you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you that, back in grad school in marketing, we learned that it takes 5 times much as money and effort to acquire a customer as it does to keep a customer happy. So think of all of the time that you spent involved, when you know, you're talking to your friend and they bought that first sample pack. Now, if you just follow up, you know, it only takes 1/5 of the effort to follow up. You're going to be able to sustain that, and you're going to be able to do that. I mean, sometimes people in this industry will say the fortune is in the follow up. So I would implore you to all, you know, is a simple text, a simple phone call, 2 to 3 days after they've been taking the product, and say, "Hey, I'm just thinking of you. You know, I see that you got the product now. Just wanted to follow up and see if you have any questions," and show that you're, you know, you're concerned about them. And that is really, that is the best thing you can do.
All right. Yeah. Great takeaways. And I tell you, it never hurts to be reminded those things because it does make a difference. It truly does. I like what you said about the marketing side. I was in corporate America and I get a lot of that. It's you really got to, they always, what's that term? Um, Work smarter, not harder. So
Yes.
the same applies for our business. Let's simplify this. Let's take care of people. Let's bless them with what we have. But beyond that, let's go out and follow up with them and follow up with your own people too, not just customers, but follow up with our people and make sure we're not leaving anyone behind. We want everybody to be on this journey together.
Absolutely.
So, hey, and so when I created this document, basically what I was going after is a comparison of the percentages, the way it's broken down to PV. And I did that because I had some ladies that were asking me, gosh, you know, an AM PM for 129 is 100 PV. So how do I understand this percentage thing? And I said, well, we can walk through that. And they said, well, I just wish it was a number. And I said, well, it is a number. You just got to do the math. And so I've done the math and I've tried to make it where it's very simplistic. And so like when you look at, say, the first rank, and the reason this first rank is so important, number one, when you get people to that rank, um, you give them confidence. You give them a sense of I belong now. I see that it works. I'm getting paid, but more than that, it opens you up to the monthly group volume, and that's important. I mean, you're talking about if you only have 3 levels deep so far, you're talking about 7% of your downline. So um, don't look at that lightly. That could be some really good incentive money for you as you grow. But let's just take a quick look across here. I don't know how well you can see it on your screens. I will give it to you in better format. I just can't really tell. It looks great on mine, but it might look teeny on yours. So depending on if you're a phone or a computer. But say you manager, you need 1500 PV, right? Well, on a strong leg, you have to, well, on your first leg, you basically have to have 90% of volume. And you'll say, okay, that's great, but what is 90%? I just hit 1700, but it's saying I'm not qualified. Well, the reason would be you have to have 150 PV on either your second or multiple legs. So you have to have 2 legs. So basically what it would be is, okay, Bill just enrolled Janine, and then I enrolled Tim. That would be 2 legs. I could enroll 8 more people. Those other 7 and 8 legs can contribute to that second leg of 10%. So hopefully that makes sense. 90%, which is a total of what? 1,350 PV can come from your strong leg.
Yeah, a maximum.
Max.
So here's some scenarios real quick. So to be manager, you need 1,500 in volume. You could have 3 legs of 500 and you're a manager. You could have 2 legs, 1 leg of 1,350 and another leg of 150, you're a manager. Or you could have 15 legs of 100 each and you're a manager. So when we talk about that leg 1, that's the max percentage. So it starts off, you know, fairly easy so that you can have 90% can come from 1 leg. And then over time, as you create more depth and you get better, what we call, width, then you can diversify. But again, it can come from just as simple as 2 legs, or it could come from 30 legs. So even that's a possibility. If you have 30 legs of 50 PV, you're still a manager.
And that's a wonderful thing. And I think the way that y'all create it is probably because when people build, they tend to build all together at the beginning because they know these people and they're putting them all together. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have another leg. So I think that is the mindset, hopefully that. And then when you then open it up to multiple legs, and I've heard you told me from the very beginning, build wide early, because it sets you up that then you can start filling those legs in as you go. And it's a great advice. Of course, if you have people of likeness and they know each other and you want to put them together, so be it. Just have a game plan, talk with your leadership about a game plan. Because when you get to close to these ranks at different levels, there's a way to kind of think ahead on this before we get to that moment. And you're like, well, how do you really know this? Well, been there, done that quite a few times. And Tim's taken me across all those speed bumps, every single one of them. So in that, we've learned. And then when I learn, I like to apply and then try to turn it back into people. So this spreadsheet that I have here, or this document, is not a catch-all. It doesn't have to be exactly this. What Tim said exactly, you can have, it has to be a minimum of 2 legs. It doesn't matter if it's 50 legs after that. It has to be 2. The 2 is the crucial part. And so that's go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, simply so people say, well, why do we need to have that second leg? Well, what happens if, you sign somebody up who goes out and does, 30,000 in volume themselves. You would say, well, I've got 30,000 in volume. Why aren't I a manager or a director? Well, it's because you need to, sometimes you get blessed with somebody who's below you and they bring in lots of volume. This is a way for you to kind of develop as your own as a leader and develop as a business owner that you have to be able to duplicate. So what we're trying to do is not force behavior, but we're trying to guide the behavior so that long term you will be successful.
And that's perfect. And we will go through like these first 3, and I'm not going to go much deeper than that because I don't think that's really needed tonight, because you'll have the document and I don't want to like beat it in the ground, because I think once you get the concept of the first thing, that same mindset follows through every rank. It's just at different percentages and different PVs. So it's the same concept, but different percentage in PV as you go. Senior manager, you have to have 5,000 PV. So basically that's 70% max that can come from leg 1. The rest can come from the same as what Tim just said a minute ago. It can come from 30 more legs, or it can come from just 1 more leg. So say you only have 2 legs, then it could be 35 on one and 1,500 on the other, and you've hit it. But if you do build wide, don't discount someone that's giving you 100 PV on a leg and someone that's giving you 120 PV on another leg for the month. All of those add up and help you at the end of the month. And once you reach that manager, then all of that becomes, a chance for you to have your monthly bonus, for your team bonus. So going on to director, we had a situation last month, and I know Alexis won't mind me sharing this, but on Easter Sunday, we were digging down hard trying to make this happen. And bless her heart, she was at church, I was at church, and at the end after that, she was with family, and then we still tried to make it happen. She got up to 9,952, I believe was the final number of total volume. And you're like, oh my gosh, you're only 48 away. Why would you not just finish that off? Well, it's not that simple. It still follows the same path. A director has to have 50% max from that first leg. The other 50% has to come from the other legs. So we could simplify it. It could be 5,000 in one leg and 5,000 another, or it could be 5,000 in one and then whatever in the rest of your legs to equal the other 5,000. And so I think, if I'm not mistaken, Alexis, even though we were only 48 PV away in what we would think would be volume, we were about 1,600 and something away in qualification of the legs, the two legs. And Alexis made a statement to me. She said, I really appreciate how much you dug in and how much we tried to do this. I was happy to get back to senior manager and become cruise qualified. I am now almost 5,000 above that. And I said, you know what? That is the best statement ever, because she was being thankful and grateful, showing gratitude in the moment that her team and herself helped her grow almost 5,000 above her goal of getting back. And yes, she almost hit that, which would have been $1,000 bonus, but that will happen. And Tim instilled something in me when we were 700 away from director the first time. And he said, you know what? He goes, there's nothing wrong with something happen organically. And I remember making a statement. I said, yeah, I totally agree with that, except for the fact we've tapped out our customers. I said, they're not even gonna order next month. I said, it's not going to happen. Well, look what Tim did to me. He made me a liar on that, because we not only hit that 10,000 director, we went on to senior, and it's like, what in the world? So momentum, and Jessica deserves a lot of credit for this, because she always talks about momentum. If you have momentum, post on it, share on it, build your teams on it, because momentum is so hard to get. When you have it, do not let it out of your grip. So bless Alexis along the way for that having that ability to say that. I think that is amazing. It shows great quality in her. And she's doing great this month. And doing things organically, doing things right, doing things with integrity, doing things where at the end of the day, you can look back and you said, you know what, I did that the right way. I did not cheat myself. I did not cheat the system. There's a lot to be said about that. It's easier to put your head down at nighttime because of that. So, and this team does that tremendously. The integrity is just tremendous over here. And I love that about each and every one that's on this call.
Bill, I can't agree more. I mean, I'm so proud of everyone here that we're doing it the right way, that we're building the next generation, right? We're building for the future. We're not just, for this week. And so I appreciate those words.
Well, and like I said, I'm not going to go any deeper. I think it's fairly self-explanatory, but I am available every day. You can send me a message. I will get on the phone with you, whether you're part of my team or not. I don't care about that. Stacy and I just did a live the other day because I want to see her team succeed. And I love to reach out and help other people, because guess what? We could be that person that needs someone to reach out to us one day. And we can never take for granted the blessings we have. So often blessings are there. Do we recognize them, and do we help other people recognize their blessings? But if you go on down, one last thing on, just so people kind of know, because people like to know about the money, right? If you go on down, it should hopefully, is it showing now at the bottom?
Yes, it is.
So Tim, you might be able to touch base on these first two ranks, because that's not currently in the comp plan. The rank bonuses, I'm sorry.
No, it is a promotion that we decided that we're going to run to probably, through the end of June. But what it is once you do hit the rank of manager, there is a $200 rank, what we call it, a rank advancement bonus. When you hit senior manager, it's $350, and then hitting director is $1,000. Senior director is $2,000. I mean, this is really, I mean, just again, to what we're trying to do here and what this helps everyone does is, any small business, you want to turn a profit. And we recognize it's hard work in that, and I'll be honest, getting to manager is probably tougher than to getting to senior manager. And
Absolutely.
Bill and Janine can talk about how they went manager, then senior manager, director, senior director, then in the next month. They ranked advanced you've ranked advanced last 3 months. And this is just a way to show all of the hard work and just rewards you. And we're just, we're very blessed to be able to share our the abundance with you.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'll tell you, Tim, if it wasn't for your leadership early on, I remember I was probably driving Dee Dee and Dory crazy. I was
No, you
like,
didn't. You were already there, so it's okay.
well, I am an information guy, right? I ran a corporation, and it's like, I gotta know how to do things so I can pass it on to our team as we build. And bless their heart, that they know it better than I could ever know it. But I was like, I guess I was asking it a different way. And so you actually said to me, "Hey, can you get on a Zoom?" And you spent 45 minutes or an hour going through the whole thing with me early on. And I was blown away that a president of a company has time to do this, is wanting to do it with one person. That's incredible. And that has made a big difference in our growth. And hopefully the way we lead is a reflection of what was given to us early on by not only you and everybody at Corp, but Dee Dee leading this team over here, and Dory and everybody else collectively, but especially those leaders. Um, they don't get enough credit, and they're trying to build a business too. But they are on the phone a lot. They're doing so much. It's almost like they become assistants to all of us trying to do our business. But they have grown a huge business on their own before they really, have built their teams out. I mean, they have led by example. And you get paid and rewarded by doing the right things. So I wanted to give credit to all of that. I do, before we end, I'm definitely open it up to questions, but I know this was just a quick overview. There is so much more. I really would like for you to go and watch Dee Dee's compensation. Read over the one in the back office. I had it as a screen share, but I'm scared I'll mess it up if I try to pull it up again. But basically, go to back office, go to tools, go to documents, go down, and you will see short comp plan, long doc plan, or comp plan. Sorry, and then you can view it. You can download it, whatever you may want to do at that point. But then reach out to me, anybody else, if you have questions. Like I said, I am always available. If you need help with some of your customers or some of your social retailers to help grow, and you're not part of the team that I'm on, still reach out to me. Let me help you. Let me encourage you. I try to go in all chats and Janine does a great job of this as well. We try to go in and try to encourage people in their posts with facts, but also to try to help build that person up in front of their own people. I think that's important. We're all in this together. And the more we protect everybody, the more stable this company is going to be, the more products that maybe we can roll out because of profitability. And I just wanted to be able to share these ranks because so many of y'all are flirting with these different rank levels. And I don't want you to get there and get discouraged for a moment. All of you are good enough to get over the moment, but in the moment you can get discouraged. I have. You missed director and $1,000 bonus by 700. You're like, I could use $700 worth of product. I could sell it in the next couple of weeks to people locally, but it's like you don't have to do it that way. Give it a chance, build, pour into your teams like never before, encourage them. And I promise you, you're going to see results. It's just going to happen. There is too much good going on for it not to happen. And so if you have any questions, please drop them. I will try to. With
Bill,
that,
let me just add to what you said, and I love your words. And I mean, Dory, Dee Dee, the rest of the leaders here, I mean, truly have been just remarkable in the amount of time and the effort they go. Just a simple thing is this business, although it seems complex, it is really easy. It's just you go out and you share your testimony of the products, you share about the business and the opportunity, and it is about what we call duplication. But one of the I love business, and I love looking at stories and historical. It was interesting back in the 1930s. Procter and Gamble, was facing a lot of, indecisions. People were cutting back on what they could spend on, household items. And one of their marketing managers came up with an idea that they put onto every bottle of shampoo. They put the simple words, wash, rinse, repeat. And by adding those simple instructions during the height of the Depression, they were able to grow their sales. They didn't double, but they were able to grow their sales by a simple statement of wash, rinse, and repeat. And that's what you're going to do here in this business as well, is you're going to wash, rinse, and repeat. You're going to share, you're going to take the product, you're going to share the product, and you're going to wash, rinse, and repeat. And I firmly believe that that's how you will be successful.
no, that's great. That's great wisdom, and I appreciate that, Tim. I think once we realize that we don't need to do it all in one moment, it's about building momentum and a growth. And I've told this story, and I'll make it really short, but we were great at getting customers early. Janine was on the leaderboard, and constantly, just because we were putting in people, it was like a phone just kept going off with customer. And that's a blessing. And there are a lot of you that are doing that now. But it got to a point, I want to say it was right around first of the year, I guess. And I just knew we had to shift. And I told Janine, I said, we're going to have to shift our mindset. Yes, we want customers. Yes, we want to continue to put people in, because hey, you're in the company, what, 7 months? You get a new customer tomorrow, that 90 days starts for them. A lot of the companies I was in before, it's your 90 days. It's the 90 days that you step in a business. And if you don't build in the first month and a half, you just threw a lot of time away. It's not that way here. It gives you a chance to try the product. It gives you a chance to get comfortable with what you want to say. It gives you a chance to get confidence. And then at that point, you go out and get those people. But I made that decision with Janine. I said, we have to pour into our team like never before. They need us. And I said, a lot of them are stronger than Janine and I. They're seasoned network marketers, direct sales, whatever you want to call it. They are good at that. They can sell probably anything. And so we learn from each of them every day. And that's what I love about this company. No one puts themselves above the other. And if you find yourself aligned that way, I would try to help cultivate that relationship, because everybody's equal here. It doesn't matter what the rank is. It doesn't matter how long you've been here. If you've only been here a week and you have a desire to grow, you're equal. You're worthy. You're enough. And just always know that. Don't allow someone to say, well, you're 5 levels down from me, you'll get there one day. No, that's wrong. It doesn't matter where someone's at. It just, to us, it doesn't even enter our minds. So I would challenge everyone to kind of have a little bit of that same vision, because your team will benefit from that mindset. And that's how we would want to be treated. So so yeah. So Tim, I'm just going to have people unmute themselves. There's questions, but it's mostly comments, but I want to make sure we don't miss somebody if they have something. So if everybody would unmute, and then maybe just kind of one at a time, maybe ask if you have any questions. And I maybe can unmute.
I think they have to individually unmute.
Okay. That makes sense then, because I wasn't figuring it out on my end.
Hey, Bill.
Yes, Dory.
Tim, it's, I had to pop in and say something. I think it's so important. I just want to mention this really quick, and I wrote it in the chat, but I don't think I can I don't think I can emphasize this enough. I think maybe we under emphasize it when we're building and we get so busy that we're just focused on, let's just be honest for a minute. When we're building, we're staring at our own numbers a lot, right? We're in the back office looking at our numbers. We're looking at, it's kind of blinding. It's like the blinding lights where you just see your numbers and you are kind of focused on that, and you're building your customers. You're trying to keep up with everything. You know where I'm at. I'm just like, squirrel. I'm always trying to keep up because I work 50 hours a week. But I think what is so important is that you identify early on your team members that want to build. You've got to do this. Like, if there's one thing I know about marketing, it is this. You have to identify who they are when they come in. Who are my builders? Who wants this? Who's out there promoting? Who's putting a post on their Facebook? It doesn't matter how many they're enrolling. It's who is promoting, who's wanting this, who wants to get to manager. And you can see that pretty early on with people that are putting videos out, or they're putting posts out. You want to really make a list of those people, because as we get big fast, it's really hard to keep track of people. And it's so important, I think, I hate calling myself a leader. I'm like, the Lord is a leader, so I hate even using that term. You know what I mean? But if you're leading a team, or you have a team, you do have to identify those members, because you can just get focused on one or two, or your own numbers. And there's a lot of people that get left out of that if you aren't focused on who your builders are, and Bill, the scenarios that we had last month. We had a lot of people that were just like, on the crux of rank advancing, and a lot of people, we just didn't realize like how far they were, or where they were at, or and some didn't get there and some did. And so it's really hard when you're farther up, you have a larger team, to dig deep down in that team to find out, oh my gosh, who are all these people? Once you have hundreds or thousands of people, it gets to be almost impossible to do that. But if you build a culture of telling and teaching, hey, when you come in and you start building, identify early on your builders. As they join, identify them, keep a list of them, and during the month, halfway through the month, go look at their volume. If they're 850, and they're inching closer to getting to be a manager, let them know that you're there. I love to kind of identify people who want it, and just let them know, I'm here. What can I do to help you? Is there volume maybe that I can shift somewhere towards the end of the month? Now, I throw that stuff out at the very end of the month. I don't do that early on, but I want people to know that I'm there to help them. Like, I'm not there to build your business for you. I can't. I got my own I can't even keep up with. And that's a good problem to have. But let people know that you're there to help them and support them, and that you want them to grow. You want them to get to manager, and let them know how close they are. Because a lot of people are new. They're not even really that maybe that seasoned or focused on what their numbers are. Let them know what they got to do to get there. And I think it it is that case of, you know, you help a lot of people achieve a little and you gain a lot. And it is so important because people who get to it makes me sad when people get to like 1,300 or 1,400 and nobody was aware that they were that close and maybe they weren't really either, and then they don't get to that rank because, you know, they didn't have that support. So that is to me everything, because if you start building builders, they're gonna build your team. And none of us get to ranks without the other, you know? I mean, it's not like, look at the rank she accomplished or look at the rank he accomplished. Well, you're not gonna get there without your team or your customers. I mean, you gotta thank them. You know what I mean? So
100%.
yeah, that's just how I feel about that. Dig deep down in your organization too. Don't forget that. Don't just look at people you enrolled. Look at who they enrolled. Dig deep. Look at who those builders are. So, and recognize them and teach your people to do that. That to me, that's everything.
Exactly.
And I'll be
Dory,
quiet.
no, I love that. And I tell you, culture, I talk about that so often. And I love that because if we produce a culture of caring about others more than ourselves, um, should be how we live, not just do business. But if we do that, there is just tremendous blessings that come from it. But I will say, you know, last month was crazy looking deep down because you're right. Not everyone even knows what they're going after. And that was kind of my goal, is to kind of let people know, okay, they're within reach, but know what they are. And as far as your teams, you know, you get someone new, they come in and they're enrolling a lot of people, they're enrolling social retailers, they're doing a lot of things. They don't always look real deep either because they got so much going on and it's like mind overload. But as the upline to anyone, you try to look down as far as you can and hope you don't miss anybody. But there is some ownership that goes back to the social retailers that do enter people. But I think we got to understand culture along the way to understand how do we look for these people and what, you know, when do we start really focusing in on, okay, we can make this happen for them. Let's do it. And, you know, grab a hold of some of us that are in different places and say, help me help them get there. What can we do? You got any suggestions? Let's all, you know, help each other in that regard. But Dory, great points. Anybody else have any questions or thoughts?
No, all good.
Stacy has nothing?
It was really good. It was a good talk. Well,
Yeah.
he sent me over the papers earlier, so I had a good look at them then. But
We appreciate you, Stacy.
oh, appreciate you guys.
Hey, and real a little plug in for Stacy here. She's doing a lot of reaching out to other people in the company and doing lives. Go in there and support that and take a look. It's not all about the business. You know, we get to know each other at a different level, then we want to do business differently with each other. She's doing some great things over there. Brittany Fowler is doing some great interviews as well. The content that people are putting out is tremendous. I can only imagine if I was a corporate person, I'd be sitting back loving the fact that people are representing the company as well as they are right now. This is really a good time.
It is.
Bill, I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said. And I know that the app is there to help you learn how to do the right actions on a daily basis to grow your following. But I think, and I told this to Dory and Brittany the beginning of last month, we need to be doing round robin lives. Everybody ought to be doing a live it would be ideal to do one once a day, but if we could do, if we all said we were going to do one 2 to 3 times a week, and we reached out to somebody, not necessarily on our team, but we reached out to somebody and said, hey, can you do a live with me?
Yeah.
It will drive the recognition just, by 1,000% if we start doing that. And maybe even, pick a time that you're going to always do them, so that people get sort of, accustomed to that. And I think Stacy's doing them at lunchtime. That's what time I said I wanted to do them, and I haven't done very good at following through with that. We've tried, and I'm just not very tech savvy, so I have to figure it out. But if you schedule the time you're going to do them, then people are going to be expecting at that time. They're going to be more likely to hop over and see what's going on. And once you get in that live, send some invites to your team to remind them, hey, I'm doing a live. The more stars and not stars, but hearts and emojis that people give to a live, the more comments on a live, the more Facebook pops it into other people's feeds.
That's right.
So we do need to support one another. And I think if we come up with a schedule, that would be helpful. Like in Magic Builders, if somebody says, this is what time I'm going to do lives. And so that way we know, and we can go hop on and comment and drive the traffic.
Consistency is everything, right, Dee Dee?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderfully said. Thanks for saying all that, because I think we can do even better than what we're doing, and I think a schedule would be really good. And hey, and this is open to everyone. You say,
Right.
why haven't you hit manager? It doesn't matter. You have a voice. If you have a passion for what you're doing, you can do this. We will join you. I will sit on your live with you the first time. All you gotta do is reach out. And anybody else?
I do want to say that Facebook loves it when we heart stuff. If you put a heart emoji, it gets it out, I think, by about 10-15% more than a like. So if you can do a heart emoji, that helps.
That's a great point. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It pushes it out further.
Awesome. Facebook and their algorithms. We got to figure
I
out.
know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You also want to go back and reply to every comment on a live. You can't do it while you're doing the live, but if you go back and reply to every comment, that will drive Facebook algorithms to put it out there too.
Wonderful. Good takeaway.
And not just your live, but even on your Facebook post, every time somebody likes it or puts, even just have a good day, just go back and say something like, you have a good day too. People love to be acknowledged. People love that acknowledgement, even if it's on social media.
Wonderful. Anybody else have anything before I give Tim the last final word to launch us out there into early beginning summer almost?
It's crazy.
And if you think of something after the fact, don't hesitate to ask me. If I don't know the answer, I will reach out to some of these amazing ladies or to Jessica or Tim. And you're welcome to do the same thing. But I'm always very, very approachable. I am retired. So I'm very available. Utilize me if you need me in any capacity. Tim, I guess we're going to let you let us know what you want to say here at the end.
Well, Bill, thank you for having me on here. You and Janine, your lovely bride. Just everyone, I'm so pleased to be here. I'm so, it's exciting times here. And it's, we're building a brand, we're bringing to market a product that is really unknown here in the United States, really unknown throughout the world. And I will promise you, if you follow just the example of the leaders that you heard tonight, your business will grow and you will become that person. Whatever your dreams are, you can achieve it. And I fully believe that. But again, thank you for having me on here, and just look forward to talking to you as we go forward.
Well, Tim, thanks for your time. Thank everybody else for their time. I know it was a little bit long, but I just wanted to make sure we had some content out there. And also, if you had people that couldn't get on, make sure you get them into the record. And if I have to send that out, I'll figure out how to do that. That's not a problem. I'll lean on the people that have knowledge, not this rookie. So, or I'll
Thank
just
you
ask
so-
my wife, you know, she knows it all. So,
All right. Well, thank you so much again.
yeah, y'all have a blessed night. Thanks for your time.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Tim.
guys. Thank
Good
you,
night.
Bill, for all the work. Thanks, Tim, for shopping on.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. We appreciate you.